Good evening, guys. It's Greg again. What's up? How's everybody doing it today? So the time has come to acknowledge the anniversary of something unfortunate, especially considering the circumstances surrounding this event. For it was today, April 1st, 2008, a record-breaking 8 years ago today, that legendary rock supergroup Velvet Revolver played their last show ever. No, not their last show, as we all know, but their last tour ever, with the original lineup intact. The show took place at Brixton Academy in London, England, on the last day of the European leg of the Rock As It Should Be tour. Now, this is ironic because a few shows prior to that event occurring, Scott Weiland, former and unfortunately late lead singer of the band, addressed the crowd in Glasgow, Scotland, or Germany, whatever part that's in, saying that this would be the band's final tour. Now, if only Scott himself could have known at the time how right he was on that judgment. Because, obviously, as we all know, if we've all been following this subject, aside from their one-off reunion show on January 12th of 2012, the band has unfortunately remained inactive, and as Scott himself put it, dead in the water. Now, the band has been making accusations that that tour would have been Scott's last tour as lead singer of Velvet Revolver, but he himself probably didn't think, when he was singing certain songs that they did in the show that night, that would be the last time he would ever sing them. For example, such songs being Fall to Pieces, Get Out the Door, and Big Machine. Now, this is especially sad this year because it's only been 3 months since the tragic and untimely death of the man that gave Velvet Revolver its voice for a record 5 years, Scott. Now, to give you guys a little bit of the history once again on how this badass machine of a supergroup even came together, it was because of a jamming session that Matt, Slash, and Duff of Guns N' Roses had in springtime of 2002, and they hired they got Dave Kushner, formerly of Wasted Youth, who Slash had known since high school, to kind of form a band, and they were real stoked about the vibe they were getting. And basically they spent 9 months trying to get a lead singer. So eventually they stumbled upon, at that time, fresh off the disbandment of the Stone Temple Pilots, they stumbled on the Scott and were finally able to release their debut record, Contraband, which went to number 1. But back to the anniversary event. Apparently on the Rock As It Should Be tour, tensions within the band were already high, but I personally, right up until the day I heard Scott died, and I made a video about it, as some of you guys will remember, I always had hope and still always wanted there to be a slim chance for Slash, Matt, Dub, Scott, and Dave to get back together for real as Velvet Revolver and go out and tour the world again. But now, sadly, at least in its original form, that is now impossible. So, with this video, I just wanted to say sort of my final thoughts, I guess you could say, on Velvet Revolver. Now, this will probably not be the last time I make a video on these guys, because they were just that good, guys, for the time period that they came out, that they came on the scene, shall we say. They really gave the world a good kick in the ass, even though they were one of those things where if you got it while it was happening, you loved every single second of it. But if you missed it, unfortunately, it's something that you had to live with, and I am unfortunately in the second position. But I will say this, I do love every single time I hear an old Velvet song or watch any of the Velvet bootlegs on YouTube. So I'll just say this, guys, from the bottom of my heart, I really did want you guys to get back together, and to be quite frank, I think you guys, just like the guys in Guns N' Roses are doing now, if you guys had a chance to really get back together properly and do a full rehearsal, a proper rehearsal time period, that is, I think you could have picked up right where you left off, which is shoving rock and roll up people's asses. So, I'll end the video by saying this. Slash, from GNR, Matt, GNR, Duff, GNR, Dave, Wasted Youth, and of course, Scott, now passed, of STP. They were Velvet Revolver, and they played rock and roll, and never made any apologies for it, which is something the band stood for. So, again, guys, I'll say to you, I do wish the world still had you, but I guess we'll still always have the two badass records you were able to give us, and of course, all the records of live shows on YouTube and through any other future releases that may happen. Now, like I said, I do think that at some point, the four surviving members, that being Slash, Matt, Duff, and Dave, should get together with a guest vocalist, or maybe a few guest vocalists even, to really give us that third record that they always said they could make. Not to get, but hopefully this time not to dishonor Scott, but to do just the opposite. Honor him on top of honoring what you guys did as a whole. So once again, I say it. They were Velvet Revolver, and they played rock and roll, and did it their way. And for all the fans out there that will hopefully eventually see this, know that I too think this is a very sad day. And yeah, alright guys, that's all I really wanted to say. My one request for everybody that sees this, go on YouTube now and type in Velvet Revolver full album and you'll be immediately directed to Contraband and Libertad. And believe me, you'll get a dose of rock like you ain't never heard in your life. So once again, Slash, Matt, Duff, Dave, Scott, they were Velvet Revolver, and they played rock and roll. And that's it for this one, guys. Keep on rocking. Yeah. And above all, rest in peace, Scott. We miss you. Keep on rocking, guys. Yeah.